of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Hawaiian Week continues here at the Big A. It is Rally Monkey, Hawaiian Rally Monkey, by the way, being given away. Mike Trout, Torrey Hunter saying hello once again. Trout back in the lineup as the Angels look to make it 7 in a row. It's game 2 against the Minnesota Twins tonight. From inside the Big A, we welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And the one thing that we talked about in the first couple of months of the season was the lack of offense that this Angels offense was unable to provide. Of late, it's a little different story because they are scoring runs in bunches.
Yeah, Victor, in the last 19 games, the record outstanding too, 16-3. Well, what they've done offensively is amazing. How many runs they've been able to score during this stretch. 108 runs scored. They've only given up 43. That's a differential of 65 runs over the last 19 games. That means you're outscoring your opponent by over 3 runs per game during that stretch. No team in baseball, and that includes the Cardinals, have done that during a 19-game stretch. The offense has been great, but the pitching staff has been every bit as good as the offense during this 19-game stretch.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's not like they're scoring bunches of runs and all of a sudden the pitching staff's got a 5 ERA. They have pitched absolutely fantastic baseball. C.J. Wilson's coming off a fantastic start. He's on the mound tonight.
Yeah, he threw the ball very well against Boston. Take a look at our AT&T versus Rewind. He had great command of all his pitches. And he said going in the game, him and Chris Iannetta had a very good game plan, and they executed with the fastball down. He had a good breaking ball. His changeup was good. But I love what he threw, that fastball and cut fastball inside. He elevated when he needed to, but 8 shutout innings. They only allowed 5 hits against Boston. He's been throwing the ball a lot better this season.
It's a Twins team that has struggled down on the road. See if C.J. Wilson can keep it going as we're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Line up some first pitch when we return. Minnesota Twins, the Angels have won 6 consecutive games, have themselves a 2-game lead in the American League West. The Halos now at 53-40 since June 27th. The last 19 games, the Angels 16-3. That's the rest of the division, how it stacks up over those last 19 games.
Amazing that stretch. Not only we talked about the hitting and the pitching, but the defense has been there. It's won a couple games with some great plays, especially in the outfield.
Halos here at home finally get the 30-win mark last night with a victory. They are 30-18. Minnesota's also played very good baseball at home. They're 31-16, as we mentioned going to break. The Twins have struggled out on the road this year, not only record-wise, but also offensively. We'll get into that a little bit after we give you their lineup as presented by their first-year skipper, the Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. Leading things off, Brian Dozier, he's at second base. Torrey Hunter out at right. Joe Mauer is at first base. Miguel Sano is the DH today. Highly touted prospect who had rolled his ankle and had been able to play, so he is back in the lineup. He's the cleanup hitter. Trevor Plouffe at third. It's Eddie Rosario on left. Aaron Hicks in center field. Eric Fryer gets to start behind the plate. And it's Danny Santana batting ninth and playing shortstop as they take on C.J. Wilson, who's making his 20th start of the season. 7-7 and a 3.59 ERA.
Coming off that very good game last time out against Boston. 6-3 in his career versus the Twins. 5-0 in his last 6 starts against the Minnesota Twins. And my go-tos, that first pitch strike percentage. CJ this year 59%. Best year as an Angel back in 2013 when he had a solid season at 60%. And what we've seen lately, even more so from CJ, getting ahead of the count early, especially a lot of 0-2 counts. Has to finish off hitters just a little bit quicker when he gets to those counts.
Let's check out the Angels defensively tonight. Behind C.J. Wilson, Matt Joyce at left, Daniel Robertson in center. Trout's the DH tonight. Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavatelli, and Albert Pujols from third to first. And Chris Iannetta had a nice offensive performance last night back behind the plate.
And it's great to have Albert Pujols back at first base, his 70th start. Very good fielding percentage with his 2 errors, .996 fielding percentage, which is 5th best in the American League in that category for the former Gold Glove winner. A number of Gold Gloves won by Albert Pujols at first with CJ on the mound. A lot of ground ball action.
Game at number 94 for both ball clubs. C.J. Wilson about to deliver the first pitch. Is one of those guys, especially at home when the clock does not matter, that will take every little moment to get ready before delivering that first pitch. First pitch tonight being delivered by the UPS store. Minnesota last night with just 2 hits. Matt Shoemaker was spectacular in his 6 innings of work, matching a career high with 10 strikeouts, 3 walks, the 2 hits allowed. CJ's first of the night, nowhere near the zone, and it is ball 1. Dozier, the all-star, hitting .257 after going 0 for 4 last night with 3 strikeouts and a comebacker to the mound. With 20 home runs and 51 runs batted in. He rips one foul down the left field line, jumping on that fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dozier 3 for 5 in his career against C.J. Wilson. It's a 600 batting average. He turned on that pitch. Fastball right down the middle.
This one's fouled back. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Last night we saw that Dozier will chase pitches in the dirt. It's a good opportunity to throw that hard slider down and in if you're CJ.
Off-speed stuff was deadly last night for Shoemaker. Dozier goes down swinging. And there is out number 1. Dozier saying that the ball hit the ground. And doesn't want to leave the home plate area. New baseball being put in, and Kerwin Danley not buying it.
See if he did. That was a perfect pitch, though, for CJ. Expanded the strike zone. Do that pitch in the dirt. It's a swing and miss.
And that ball didn't hit the dirt. The glove may have hit the dirt. Dozier thought that ball was fouled, I should say, into the ground in order to keep that at bat alive. And to be honest with you, I didn't even see Danley make the old symbol for a foul tip.
No.
Torrey gets a nice round of applause once again. Looks at a strike here to start off this plate appearance. .253 average, 14 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Went 0 for 4 last night. A couple of strikeouts, a couple of fly balls up to left, one to short. Mentioned the Twins' struggles out on the road at .223 team batting average away from target. This one's chopped to short. 2 down. Fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you and we thank you for your continued service as always.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And you know, I was in the dugout, Twins dugout before the game, and I asked them that exact same question. I said, why are you guys struggling so much on the road? And Target Field is not exactly a hitter-friendly ballpark. It's a big ballpark. And they really can't explain it. They see the ball well, just like on the road as they do at home, but they're just not getting those same type of swings that they would want on the road as compared to Target Field.
56-point difference between home and road. Joe Mauer, the first baseman, a .276 batting average. He had one of the 2 hits last night. 1 for 3 game. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wilson trying to finish off 1-2-3 inning. Second straight home game in which he's worked with the home white uniform.
Worked good last time.
Yeah, it certainly did.
That's one thing about pitchers. They're never superstitious at all.
Absolutely not. He had 8 innings of shutout baseball against Boston, allowing 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. Dozier strikeout, Hunter on a ground out. Bounce towards second. Giavotella has to charge it. Time. It's a 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Giavotella, Calhoun, and Trout coming up for the Angels with no score. Dusha starting lineup for the Angels at 53 and 40. It's very similar to what we've seen here of late. Giavotella leading things off at second. Calhoun and right. Trout after a night off is the DH today. Just precautionary. Keep him off his feet. Albert Pujols, the cleanup hitter at first. Eric Eibart short. David Freese at third. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Matt Joyce in left field. And Daniel Robertson will patrol center. And he will bat ninth as they take on a 31-year-old right-hander native of Wichita, Kansas. Shocker. It's Mike Pelfrey.
I like that. Pelfrey, tall, 5'6", ERA 4.0. My go-tos against Pelfrey to be successful. Get him early. 0-0 counts. Hitters in 367 and lay off that split finger fastball.
First one in for a strike. Pelfrey making his 18th start of the year, 5-6, and an even 4 earned run average. 112 hits though in 99 innings of work.
He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. He allowed 6 so far this year. It's crazy how it goes through for him. First time through the lineup, hitters hit 317. Second time through against him, 323. But the third time against him, just 214. So clearly get him early in the game.
Chopper back toward the middle. That will sneak through for a leadoff single. The Twins defensively have Rosario, Hicks, and Hunter in the outfield. From left to right, Flute, Santana, Dozier, and Maurer from third to first. In the infield, Fryer behind the plate.
Our good buddy out in right field, Torrey Hunter, 9-time Gold Glove winner. Talk about the all-time list. Or is that category? It's behind Ichiro and Andrew Jones, and Griffey Jr., and Kaline. And at the top of that category, the great late Roberto Clemente and Willie Mays at 12 each. 2 outfield assists, by the way, this year for Torrey. 4 errors, though. Pretty high amount for Torrey Hunter in right field this year.
Leadoff man on. Here's the first one to Cole. It's downstairs. Got 1-0 for 3. Last night, 270 on the year. 13 home runs and 51 runs batted in. One thing's for certain, if things don't work out for the Twins in the American League Central this year, they can form a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, they do have some power forwards.
Pelfrey 6'7", Gibson last night 6'6", Phil Hughes 6'5" in that rotation. So pick your battles if you're charging the mound.
He wasn't
want to check the 4th, 5th stars.
He wasn't real happy with that slow ground ball up the middle by Giavitello. He stared him down all the way down to first base.
Man, either that or wait till guys from the bullpen come in. One ball, one strike. Johnny with a short lead over at first. Cole hits it back up the middle. The shortstop, Santana, feeds Dozier for 1. That's the only play they get. Ball kind of hit off the mound and slowed it up.
Hyundai key for this game for the Eagles to be successful on the poison today. Ride the wing, the momentum for the offense and the pitching staff, and the way the team has played, looking for another victory, going for 7 in a row. Swinging the bats exceptionally well, and anytime when you have that momentum going, it's always good to have your leader back in there in Mike Trout to get things rolling here early in the game.
Trout the DH tonight, hitting .307. Takes down low. 28 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Night off last night, a sore heel, keeping him out of the lineup. Angels without him in the lineup last night, 13 hits, 7 runs. On speed, down low. 2 balls, no strikes.
And you can run against Pelfrey. 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts.
Pelfrey on the road this year, 2-4 with a 6.02 earned run average. He's lifting in the air to right. Playable for Hunter. 2 down. So Cole remains at first, and Albert coming to the plate. Albert last night served as the DH, batting in the 3 spot, ended up going 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. 262 average with 29 home runs and 60 RBIs.
So that's a good pop on the fastball, Pelfrey. That one at 92 goes up and in the inside corner against Pujols.
misses low. Two career starts for Pelfrey here in this ballpark. Total of 12 innings, 7 runs allowed. His 5th career start against the Angels.
Talk about percentages of pitches thrown by Pelfrey. 70% of his pitches are fastballs. The next biggest is split at 18%.
Gets away with the Cole. Flat-footed, head back to first, did not advance. So it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
He's trying to read that one, see if that baseball got far enough away from Fryer. If you don't see it right away, there's no reason to go at that point. It's all about reading that, seeing exactly where the baseball is getting away from the catcher. Otherwise, give Pujols an opportunity to drive you home.
Shift is on with Albert at the plate. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. Dozier's there. And Albert is retired for the 3rd out. So nothing happening for the Angels here in the 1st. We'll head to the 2nd with no score. Sano, Plouffe, and Rosario. CJ delivers a strike. Sano playing in his 14th major league game. He's 14 for 43 so far with a couple of home runs. 9 runs batted in. It's the majority of last year. Tommy John surgery. Highly touted prospect out of the Dominican Republic. Good power. 22 years of age.
Remember last year him saying that he's going to be a lock to hit 40 home runs at the major league level. That's a lot of confidence. He's got a lot of power, that's for sure.
Yep. He's missed some games with a sprained ankle. Tested it out yesterday, but not in the lineup. Back in there today. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Got him on the outside corner with a breaking ball. 1 down.
Back door. It's an unhittable pitch. If you're, especially as a young hitter, you read that pitch out of the strike zone and catch the corner. See the target being set by Iannetta and brings it around and gets the call. Might have been a little bit off the outside corner, at least according to our Fox tracks, to call it a strike. There's
Trevor Plouffe, the third baseman. Plouffe last night Ended up going 0 for 3 and 256 now. 12 home runs. 50 RBIs. It's 23 doubles as well. 3 triples. Down low. 2-1. First round pick, 20th overall selection back in 04 in Crespi Carmelite. He's finally settled in over at third base. One assumes, because wonder if Sano is the guy there in the future.
That's what they anticipated him being, that his position. And there was talk about moving Plouffe potentially out to left field.
He pulls this one foul out in front.
3-1 changeup from CJ. That's one thing they've been doing well together with Chris Iannett and CJ Wilson. That combination, utilizing all his pitches, even in fastball counts, comfortable enough to throw his changeup.
Here's a payoff. Foul back. Back to the fastball. CJ in that start against Boston got a no decision. They shut out innings. Of course, that was the walk-off by Trout Friday night. This was lined toward short. Ivor has it, but it was a missile. That got Eric on a hurry. Hey fans, the Angels host the Rangers Friday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Total while supplies last. Purchase your tickets by visiting the stadium ticket office or online. It's a good-looking shirt.
Yeah, it is.
It's a large shirt, man.
Yeah, it's a very big
Extra
shirt.
large.
Yeah, I like this one, though. This is a good look.
It's a nice sleep shirt for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Good workout shirt.
Yeah.
Good one to go jogging with.
Cut the sleeves off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Old school.
Will you take the old sanitary sock and use it as a headband?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
like Charlie Huff.
or Mitch Williams used to do that quite well himself.
Charlie Huff had the best.
He was here last night.
Was he? I didn't even see it.
Here.
Well, that's great. He's a great guy, but the most incredible workout outfits ever, even for bullpen sessions.
Yes.
He had the cutoff shirts,
yes,
too.
Yes, he did. He was hanging. He was around at our Fox Sports West booth upstairs.
Chance to catch, and I put that term loosely, with the Marlins in '93 as a bullpen catcher.
Good luck catching
His
that
son Aaron was around quite a bit. Lifted in the air down the line, tailing toward the seats. Joyce will give it a look, but it's a couple rows deep. 1 and 2. You know where Charlie Huff is from? Can you name the area that he's from?
I'll just guess Florida.
Hialeah, Florida. There's a huge Cuban population now in Hialeah. But yeah, just outside of Miami.
He was awesome. Known him for a long, long time.
1-2. Bouncer foul.
He was the pitching coach my last year of playing ball. He was with the Dodgers at that point. I was, getting ready to get down to spring training with the Dodgers in '98, and I flat out asked him, to be honest with me, do you think I have enough in my arm to get anybody out? Because it wasn't feeling great. He says, no. I said, all right, I'm good. I'm gone. I said, I appreciate your honesty.
It's a knuckleballer telling you this now, too.
Yeah, knuckleballer saying you're done. It's a good time to go.
Ground ball is short. Quick throw by Eric, and almost pulls Pujols off the bag. Nice job by Rosario to kind of hurdle over Albert. Avoid any type of collision. 6 up, 6 down for C.J. Wilson. Head to the second with no score.
Former Gold Glover with a good stretch. Saves an error.
Ibar frees and Iannetta for the Angels here in the second against Mike Pelfrey. Ibar rips one to right. So back-to-back innings. Leadoff man reaches on a second.
Clearly, Eric Ibar is looking at his numbers as far as first pitch swinging against Pelfrey. 18 for 49 coming into this game. A two-seam fastball. Too much of the plate on the inner half of the plate for Eric Ibar. Turns on it. Barrel of the bat. Got his hands inside the baseball well and shot that through in the right field. Good, quiet hands. Good swing for Eric Ibar.
David Freese hitting .241 with 11 home runs and 43 runs batted in.
I would not be surprised to see Mike Scioscia put a hit and run on now. With Freese at the plate and Ibar at first. A lot of room on that right side of the infield.
David takes a fastball right down the pipe. 1 for 4 game yesterday with an RBI single and a run scored. The Angels scoring 5 runs in the 6th inning. Open up a 7-0 lead. It was 2-0 at that point. Kind of a tight game. Gibson threw the ball well, as did Shoemaker. But a missed opportunity on Gibson's part on a potential double play ball opened up that 6th inning. 1-1. Freese late on it. 1-2.
Last night, Freese got a lot of all-speed pitches from Gibson. A lot of breaking balls down and away. Enough fastballs in to open up the outer part of the plate. Pelfrey inside so far.
He's been inside too on the try to Pujols. Jamming it.
He's hit 7 batters, so you know he pitches inside a lot.
There's that breaking ball. He was up the count at 2-2, and again at 6-7.
Yeah, you
feel free to pitch
You're
inside.
pretty comfortable pitching inside.
At the Wichita State Mets, first round pick, 9th overall in 2005.
Grew up a Royals fan.
Got a Mark Gubba's a bobblehead somewhere in his house.
I'm sure. His favorite show for the longest period of time, Saved by the Bell, which I know is one of your all-time favorites.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
You would screech, I think, right?
One by one, each of those characters are kind of having some issues after the fact. But yeah, I was a big fan.
Yes, I thought you were.
Ground ball to second. Dozier feeds Santana for one. The relay back to first in time. Good arm by Santana. It's a double play.
And now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks with Chris Iannetta coming to the plate. Swinging the bat much better. Seeing the ball, using that leverage, working counts well. Big base hit scoring Eric Ibar. Then, late in the game, a 3-run home run. Good leverage on the swing, but his balance and his confidence back at the plate. Much better of late for Chris Iannetta.
199 on the season with 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. He fouls off the first pitch. Back inside.
With Chris Iannetta behind the plate, the Angels have won his last 9 starts, 14 the last 16 with Chris Iannetta calling the games behind the plate.
Oh, 2. Slider. I've never seen the shift with 3 infielders on the left side. Off speed, hammered out to left. Rosario moving back on it near the wall, and that is gone. Chris Iannetta, second consecutive game. 1-0 Angels.
What another solid swing for Iannetta, giving him now 7 home runs. Got that all-speed pitch, that split-finger fastball looked like upstairs. You guys have been clamoring every time I say it, but when they talk about tools of the trade before the game, and then you can see why they want to be on that list. As Chris Iannetta goes yard, just after we talked about his good swings yesterday.
For Chris, his 7th of the year, 25th RBI. For the Angels, their 108th home run of the season. Pitch was up, and he didn't miss it. Joyce fouls this one off.
Did a nice job right here of getting a mistake pitch. See that split finger fastball? Looked like he dropped his wrist, and that created that lateral movement instead of going straight down on a split finger fastball. And Iannetta did not miss that mistake.
Joyce lifts one out to left center. Rosario makes the catch, and that is all for the Halos. They strike first with Iannetta's 7th of the year. We'll head to the 3rd, and the Angels up 1-0. Boys and Girls Club help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs to promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsports.com. C.J. Wilson back out of the mound with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of his battery mate, Chris Iannetta, with his 7th home run. That's the bottom third of the order for Minnesota: Hicks, Fryer, and Santana. TJ with a couple of strikeouts so far. Hicks hitting .255, 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night with a couple of strikeouts and a double play ball. 2-0. Angels pitchers racked up 13 strikeouts last night of the Twins.
That's something that was the conversation in the dugout too for the Twins. They're a team that doesn't necessarily strike out a whole lot. Credit Matt Shoemaker, what a job he did last night.
On the corner, 2-1. 2-0 changeup. That is pulled to left, and it's a leadoff single for Hicks.
And back-to-back changeups.
Pitcher number 26, Eric Fryer.
Got to pay attention to Hicks with 7 stolen bases, caught 3 times.
That's CJ 5-0 in his last 6 starts against Minnesota, but ERA 5.18 during that stretch.
Eric Fryer, the catcher tonight. 3 for 10 this year at the major league level. He will look at a strike. Fryer's had some time in the big leagues prior to this year. 28 games last year with Minnesota. That's the big leagues for the first time in 2011 with Pittsburgh. Just 10 games. 29-year-old. Fouls it off. The ball is 2 strikes. Former product of the Ohio State University.
Oh, Terry Smith is happy. We're hearing some boos in our truck.
Yeah.
There's a few Michigan people in there.
Even if Fryer makes an out here, I'm sure Terry will paint a beautiful picture of the out.
Yeah.
Because of the Ohio State connection. See, I think Terry just did it with a smile on his face.
Yeah, he did. It was a well fought at bat.
1 down.
Going upstairs with a fastball, little cutter. Upper part of the strike zone. CJ with his 3rd punch out of the game.
Brings up the shortstop, Danny Santana. Escobar got the start at short last night. Santana in the 9th spot. Takes a little bit high. 221 on the season for Santana. 69th game. 10 doubles, 5 triples, 20 runs batted in. It's the 241 on base percentage. Struggled defensively as well. 15 errors committed this year. Two balls, no strikes. Hicks with a couple of stutter steps over at first base, maybe occupying CJ a little bit. Minnesota 8th in the American League in stolen bases this year with 45.
Santana has rolled into 6 double plays. Maybe there could be some movement.
Dozier, by the way, leads the team with 9. The Twins, a team that it's not built for the long ball. It's built with guys that have to get on base and kind of get motion going.
That's the type of player Paul Molitor was also.
Base hit to left. So 2 singles in the inning, and the Twins have runners at first and second with 1 out here. The top of the order coming up in Dozier.
Second baseman, number 2.
Overall speed Pittsburgh got too much at the plate. And a quick conversation with Ioned and CJ Wilson with the first runner making to the second base. So you got to go through the signs. With the man behind you at second base.
Just the second time in the series which the Twins have had multiple base runners in any one inning. Took it to the 6th inning last night for that to occur. A walk and a single. That was the inning, though, that Shoemaker struck out the side.
So both his innings so far, the base hits against CJ have been all changeups. It's a good pitch for him, but both times middle of the plate.
And the other thing too is that hadn't really established to either guy that the ability to throw or spot that fastball, give him something else to think about.
Yeah, especially that cutter inside.
Almost doing him a favor a little bit. Dozier strikeout, Victim into first, takes low.
Even though this is early in the game, this is an important batter here for CJ. And an all-star at the plate with a lot of power. So far, the Angels have pitched him very well in this series.
He's only rolled into 3 double plays this year. Runners take off and no throws, so a double steal.
Picked the right pitch to go. Break a ball, and it was in the dirt also. A curveball to boot.
Hicks picks up his 8th. Santana picks up his 7th.
It's right on cue what you were talking about Minnesota, not a lot of power. but having that ability to try to move runners and get the defense out of their comfortable positions.
Infield back. They'll give up the run for the out. 2-0 now. Ball's a foul. That's 2 balls and a strike.
That's a perfect pitch. You got a hitter looking for a fastball. CJ throws a fastball, but it's a cut fastball.
One count with Torrey Hunter on deck. Dozier rips one out to the alley in left center field. That'll bring home 2 runs. The Twins have a 2-1 lead. Dozier with a couple of runs batted in, pardon me.
Look like another changeup upstairs. I'm going to take a look at the pitch-by-pitch sequence by C.J. Wilson against Dozier, the All-Star. First pitch, he goes at him. A 2-seam fastball downstairs. Then a curveball. The runner's going in the dirt. Then a hard cut fastball inside, followed by a slider down and in, falling behind in the count. Then he threw a changeup. Not a bad pitch, but location not there for C.J. Wilson because it was upstairs at 86.
Torrey, big swing and a miss. Ground ball to short in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. It's the first time the Angels have trailed in this homestand. Dozier now with 53 RBIs. So no shutdown inning for CJ after signed that. Put the Angels up 1-0 in the second. Back, mistake up too.
Made some mistakes up, both his changeup and fastball so far. CJ, when he's on a roll, he's downstairs with his pitches. He'll elevate when he wants to. And most times with his changeup, his fastball, especially arm side fastball, that outside corner against a right-handed batter, so effective for him. And the cut fastball inside, about belt high for him.
Down and in. Couple of singles and the double steal. 2 RBI single by Dozier. Still just 1 out here in the third. Got him. Down goes Hunter. Nice pitch down and in. 2 outs.
It's a good hard slider. Great location by C.J. Wilson. Sharp break to it. It's a good swing and miss from Torrey Hunter. The rotation. Perfect spot underneath the bat in the swing path for Torrey Hunter.
So Joe Mauer bats with 2 outs and Dozier at first. Mauer grounded out to Giavotella, his first plate appearance.
See if Mauer takes another first pitch. Every at bat so far in the series, he's taken the first pitch. Think about it, Mauer is now 3 for 29 in his career versus C.J. Wilson. Wouldn't you think at that point you might swing at the first pitch because that may be your best pitch to hit? So you got to be careful if you're C.J. if you're going to groove a fastball middle of the plate. That was pretty much down the middle of the plate. Still took it.
I don't think he cares what his numbers are against CJ.
Yeah.
He's going to stay the course. It's kind of worked for him.
Yeah, yeah. He's a pretty good hitter, yeah.
Yes, he is.
You don't realize how big he is until you get right up next to him. He is giant.
Yep. Almost got in the chase. Joe West says he did not go. There's the Cowboy. Joe had a good game behind the plate.
Yeah, he did. He was solid.
Good lead for Dozier at first. He's outside, 2-1. A lot of pitches thrown here in this third inning.
And Mauer this season has swung at just 12.8% of first pitches thrown at him.
This will be the 24th pitch for Wilson. Three and one. Hasn't walked a batter yet. There's 4 strikeouts with 3 hits allowed. Sano on deck. Got a product of seeing got the rookie on deck. This is Joe Mauer.
Yeah, but I know when I'm facing a guy that has no success against me, I'm going after him. Even though Joe Mauer is a great hitter and has been, I've had success against him. I'm going after him. I don't want to take a chance against Sano with his power.
That is a base at the left. The Twins hitters have gotten into good hitters counts, and they haven't missed their pitch when they pulled the trigger.
No, and there's been some mistakes made. And here's a fastball and a good fastball count. And you see where Iannetta is setting up and missed location once again. He's reaching back. That ball is on the inner half of the plate. That's why he's able to go inside out with that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. You're doing him a favor with that pitch on the inner half of the plate.
So Mike Butcher out to pay a visit. Sano will be the 7th man to bat here in the third inning. It's a 2-1 Twins lead. Dozier with a 2 RBI single. Sano struck out looking, leading off the second. On a backdoor breaking ball. Only 2 first pitch strikes this inning for CJ.
We talked about that as far as my go-tos being so important for CJ to set up his other pitches. He's trying to fight back in the counts with his changeup, which I'm sure we'll probably see here 2-0. But you got to be fine with that pitch. If you elevate that changeup, it becomes a very hittable pitch, especially for a young hitter with power.
2-0. 3-0. Borderline pitch. Could have gone either way. CJ asking about it. But you've missed as much as he has missed in this inning, this particular inning, because he was good through the first 6 batters. It's tough to get that. You're not going to get that borderline pitch.
No, you never do. Even though technically you look, you say that's a strike, but it's barely touching the upper part of the strike zone. And Sano is probably going to be swinging here, so you got to be careful location here.
He pulls it to third. Freeze has it. He'll race to third base, force out Dozier. And C.J. Wilson slithers out of the third. 2 runs in for the Twins. They lead it 2-1.
Minnesota.
Halos setting up 9-1-2. Robertson, Giavatelli, and Calhoun here in the third against Mike Pelfrey. No strikeouts, no walks, 3 hits allowed, including the eye and a home run. Robertson out at center field tonight. Trout at DH. He pulls on the left field. I think that 3 straight innings. Lead off single. Daniel jumping on that pitch that was up in the zone.
Second baseman, number 12, Sonny
But that's the comfort you have as a starting pitcher right now for the Angels. Even if you made some mistakes, C.J. Wilson got through that last inning when a 3-0 pitch. Gets Sano to hit the ball hard, but Freese makes the play. You know the offense, the way they've been swinging. You get right back in there and start hacking right away. Right away, you have a leadoff single.
Johnny Giavatelli base hit up the middle. The bottom of the first. Robertson always with a big lead over at first base. Quasi pitch out. Nothing's happened. Taylor Featherston has the biggest lead of any base runner at first base.
Yeah, he's going to be almost stepping on second base. And it's that comfort zone, how far you can get as far as your lead and still be able to get back. Robertson picked off yesterday.
Robertson takes off. The hit and run is on. Controlled foul.
Look at his job by Giavatelli putting that ball on the ground. Like that's a fastball up and in. That's a difficult pitch to use as far as the hit and run. So he got his hands inside the baseball and tried to punch that one right through the hole between first and second. Quick conversation with Dino Evo and Mike Scioscia about that.
Ground ball back toward the middle, to his left, and bobbled by Santana. No play, everyone is safe. See how they rule that. Mention he has 15 errors on the season. And make that 16 errors on the year now.
Gets to that baseball, but in the transfer they try to flip the ball to second, could not do so. And Giavatelli running hard down the line ends up and safe at first base. Kind of looked up instead of getting that ball in the glove and then flipping it to second base.
Yeah, just trying to trust feel.
You're only going to get the force out. You're not going
Right.
to turn two. That's the mindset you have to have as a middle infielder there. Don't worry about a double play. You can get that the next batter. You got to make that play at second base there and think only that one out.
Cole, the fielder's choice. He's 0 for 1. Halos last night 4 for 8 with men in scoring position. They've started this homestand in a stretch where they were 0 for 36 at home with men in scoring position into that Friday game. But since then they've gone 11 for 21. Good speed on the bases as Cole takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Really good to see that smile back on the face of Chris Iannetta. It's beginning part of the season. It's such a struggle for him. Felt that he was getting close to getting back his swing. He's been hot of late.
Off speed and lays off. I think Pelfrey almost slowed everything down for that pitch.
And you could read that as a hitter. That's the thing that makes a good pitcher in all of your pitches, whether you have 3 or 4 of the same arm slot, same arm motion.
Cole's hit safely in 11 of his last 14. Only batting .270. 13 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Also 16 doubles. Good hitters counted. 2 balls and a strike. Last night Gibson, a lot of off-speed stuff in those hitters counts, whether it was 2-0 or 3-0, 3-1. Off the plate, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, you guys feel real comfortable right now. If you're Cole Calhoun, you're going to get a fastball. Great count for a fastball, and you have Mike Trout on deck. So center that one zone, look for that fastball. Don't chase something all speed. You're going to get a heater right now.
.3-1 pitch. That is ripped to right, a base hit. Robertson with a good jump will come in to score. Giavatella to third, and we are tied up at 2.
Just like that, got a fastball down and drills it in the right field for a base hit. His 52nd RBI of the season for Cole Calhoun. That's the beauty of having Mike Trout behind you. If you're Cole Calhoun, especially when you get into a good hitter's count. And a fastball down, and boy, was that ball hit hard. Giavatella running quickly. His first to third on that base hit.
So Giavatella at third base, Calhoun at first, nobody out. And here's Trout hit a fly ball to Torrey Hunter in the first inning. Trout with 8 home runs in the month of July. It's good for a tie for first in Major League Baseball for this month. Long ball. He pulls this one to short. Santana to Dozier for 1. The relay back in time, a double play. Giavatella scores, and the Angels have a 3-2 lead. That's twice he's gotten in Trout's kitchen.
Yeah, he's run that fastball at 92 inside. Couldn't quite get the hands inside enough to barrel the bat out. Down quickly down the line, trying to beat that one out. And on base and also get an RBI, but because of the double play, did not get an RBI out of it.
So base is clear for Albert.
Both pitchers tonight unable to have a shutdown inning after their team scores a run or 2 for them.
Albert grounded out to Dozier in the shift in the first innings. He's 0 for 1. Three balls, no strikes. Albert swinging 3-0, fouls it off.
Another good count to do some damage here for Albert.
(3-1). Foul back, heads up. Full count.
I don't like line drives back up the middle against Minnesota.
No, not a fan?
No.
Back inside. Count remains full. 3-2 Angels. Orioles getting those 2 runs back here in the 3rd inning.
Great swing by Cole Calhoun, though.
Chopper to the left side. It is Santana. Cuts it off. And the Angels are done here in the 3rd, but they strike for 2 runs on a couple of hits. A big error by the shortstop, helping things out. The Angels now back on top.
What a perfect swing by Cole. 52 RBI now in the season.
As we start the 4th, Hawaiian Rally Monkey giveaway night. They had last night. We got anything tomorrow? T-shirts on Friday.
Yes.
Day game tomorrow.
Day game tomorrow.
12:35 start tomorrow. Plouffe, Rosario, and Hicks for Minnesota here in the 4th inning. 5, 6, and 7. C.J. Wilson had a long 3rd inning, faced 7 batters.
Still having a tough time in that first pitch strike.
That'll even up the count. Houston won tonight, 4-2 over Boston. The Angels needing a victory to keep that 2-game advantage. 1-2.
CJ's faced 14 batters so far, 8 first pitch strikes. First 6 batters he faced, 5 first pitch strikes. So it's been a little bit of an issue for him since the first couple of innings.
And in those first couple of innings, you mentioned his 5 first pitch strikes, 6 up, 6 down. Makes things a little bit easier. Opens things up for you.
And it puts the hitter on the defensive too when they're behind in the count. You just look at the numbers all time as far as hitters hitting 1-0 as compared to 0-1. Certainly favors the pitchers.
2-2. That is out towards center field. Hit pretty well. Robertson racing back. Still going back. Reaches up. And he got it. Nice play by Daniel Robertson. Channeling his inner Mike Trout. 1 down.
Cole Calhoun's pumped for him too. What a play. This ball is crushed again. That's a pretty good sound off the wall. He's running back full speed giving up his body to make that play, and what an outstanding catch. Not only to catch that ball, to hold on to when you slam into the wall like that. Great play by Robertson. He's going to feel that one, though, for a while.
Popped up. Foul territory. Chris Iannetta gets rid of the mask. 2 down. Hey, folks, on Friday, make your plans to visit the Game 1 Music Garden for a pregame luau featuring live Hawaiian music, dancing, and food. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office or angels.com. Can you show us a little luau move? Can we put you on camera? Show us your best luau move.
Maybe Friday.
Come on.
Friday.
Come on. The folks at home want to see it, and our camera's ready for it.
No, I'm good.
Come
Friday.
on.
Friday.
Oh, man. Really, all it takes is one question. If I throw it out there for fans on Twitter, do you want to see Gooby?
No, they'll say no.
Just
Friday.
A little luau to tease Friday's big luau.
No, Friday.
Hey, shoot us a tweet. Hashtag it, Gooby Luau.
Yeah, let's wait till Friday.
One ball will strike.
Why do you do that?
I just got a feeling in a couple of seconds here. Should be beep
oh yeah,
on Twitter notification. Hicks, a base hit his first time up. Bounces this one foul. It's 1-2. Also had a stolen base and a run scored.
It's amazing what a defensive play can do for you when you're on the mound. All of a sudden, it either could be a home run or double or triple to start an inning after your offense gives you the lead. Instead, great play and then a pop-up. Get 2 outs quickly and ahead of the count now for C.J. Wilson to be able to try to get through this inning. No problems.
I can't help Twitter, Gooby. I think it might already be trending.
I'm looking for a quick inning right here from C.J.
Okay, on a foul ball. If there's a foul ball, just a quick little move.
No.
No?
I need to swing and miss that from C.J. right here.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Need a punch out.
Wow. Twitter's blowing up. Be like Nike and just do it, someone says. Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a great look for him.
Just outside. Well, if CJ walks Hicks here, a little time for Eric Fryer coming to the plate.
He's got to refocus.
Your best Don Ho move.
We got to refocus to finish off this inning.
What are you on the mound?
Yes.
Payoff pitch. Back up the middle, almost gets CJ, and it's a 2-out single. And able to finish off the 1-2-3 inning. Hicks' second hit of the game.
This time he got a fastball change-up. Last time got a base hit. This fastball right back up the middle. A swing by 2 good swings already in this game by Hicks.
Here's Fryer. Struck out looking. Guess we're going to have to wait till Friday.
Yes, indeed.
Power of television, though. Folks tweeting us right now. It's incredible.
Well,
we got great fans. Angel fans are fantastic fans, man.
There's no question.
All over social media. Oh, see, Trent, he won't be able to watch the game on Friday. See? He won't see their luau.
Yeah, but we're trying to keep them Angel fans. If I do that, they might not be Angel fans anymore.
Oh, I doubt that. 4 strikeouts for Wilson. 5 hits allowed. Good fastball there. Good location.
Looked like Fryer was just trying to hit that ball the other way. You're entertaining yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd like some of the responses. Wednesday's the new Friday.
Hey, every day's Friday for us.
That was Mike. Appreciate it. Fouled off 1-2. This guy's actually calling you out, so I won't read that one.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that one. True fan at that point.
Yeah. Handler's up 3-2. Hicks barely off the bag on that thrower.
Albert kind of frustrated a little bit too, throwing the ball back, looking for CJ to be able to finish off this inning in a 1-2 count.
Right.
With not a whole lot of at-bats, he can expand the strike zone and finish off the inning.
Absolutely. Thinking the same thing. Missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think CJ has 2 options, either a fastball down and away or a slider down and in. That hard slider, similar to the pitch he threw to Torrey Hunter in the 3rd inning, should be able to finish off this inning for CJ and the Angels.
It's 75 pitches here in the 4th inning. Full count. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just a product of worrying about something you don't need to be worrying about, and that's the guy at first base.
Yeah, I mean, Hicks and Santana double steal back in the 3rd. That's a different scenario, especially when you get ahead of the count like you did. Now all of a sudden your attention's away from the guy that you feel that you should be able to get at. Not a lot of experience this season, not a lot of at-bats. And now the pitch count going up.
And he walked him. So now he has 2 men on, and the speedy guy at second base was Santana coming to the plate.
And the guy who had a good swing his last at-bat against CJ.
Santana with a base at the left, also had a stolen base and a run scored in the 3rd. This will be the 19th pitch of the inning for CJ. Now a pickoff attempt at second. Fly ball to shallow center field. Ibar going out. Giavatello as well. Eric takes charge, makes the catch. And the top of the 4th is in the books. Daniel Robertson showing off the leather earlier on in this inning. Going up against the wall.
No doubt this could have been a whole different inning if that play is not made by Robertson. What a play. reading back the wall and slamming into the wall and holding on to the baseball. Cole loves it.
Lead. Ibar, Freeze, and Iannetta here in the fourth. Pelfrey's allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. Leadoff man has reached in the first 3 innings. Derek will look at a breaking ball for a strike. Ibar led off the second with a single to right. That's a race on the double play ball by Freeze, and that was the inning which Iannetta hit the home run. The Angels a 1-0 lead. Twins struck for 2 on the third. The Angels got those runs back to the bottom of the third. On speed, bounced over to first. Mauer will take it. And there is the first out of this bottom of the fourth inning. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth and hope you're enjoying our broadcast here on Hawaiian Week. The Angels have played very good baseball today, especially on the offensive side of things. And yeah, well,
why are you smiling?
I don't know.
It was that great defensive play by Daniel Robertson, wasn't it? And the Chris Iannetta home run. I can feel your happiness right now.
Hashtag Gooby monkey on his shoulder.
Yes, exactly.
Little Lua?
Yeah.
Give me one of these. There's
Friday. Friday.
All right, there's David Freeze. Oh, man. Happy Rally Monkey giveaway day. Freeze, a double play ball. And his first at bat.
Why were you smiling?
Oh, watch out. Now, David wears the padding on the left hand, which is the bottom hand. That may have got him on the right. Richard Pelfrey's not afraid to pitch inside nor hit batters because he pitches inside.
And this will be his 8th batter he has hit this season. Runs that one up and in. See exactly where that got him. And the right hand.
See that pad there on the black pad on the white batting glove on the left hand.
See how loud that was.
See, and at that point, Gooby, I think you're just talking fingers.
Yes, and that's some severe pain. Especially now will be his throwing hand also, and I think they're going to take him out at this point.
Magic Featherston will take over. Pelfrey obviously said something to David there crossing the field. Not intentional. So Taylor will take over at first base as the pinch run.
Number 8, Taylor Featherston. Now batting Queer Angels, pitcher number 17,
Featherston will be on the move right away. Let's hope that David Freeze is okay.
Yeah.
The 92-mile-an-hour fastball with that late movement upstairs.
Here's Iannetta. Chris, a home run in the second, his 7th of the year, 25th run batted in. That big lead for Featherston right away. Ground ball towards short. Santana to his right, feeds Dozier. Bad throw, pulls Dozier off the bag. So Chris will reach on the fielder's choice, and there are 2 outs.
On fielder, number 20, Matt.
Quickly, Featherston got the second baseman away, even though it turned 2, but a dangerous throw with that speed for Featherston getting to second base.
Off-speed pitch down and in. Joyce 0 for 1 with a fly ball to left.
You see Albert talking with Trout about that, exactly where that baseball got. Freeze, and what you do as a hitter, watch that, you see how you react, how you turn your body, but that type of pitch, the way it ran in, very difficult to avoid contact with your hand and running fastball like that.
At that point, all you can do is, as you draw the hands in, is hope that it's by you.
Yeah,
it's missed you.
Or maybe hit the handle of the bat, knob of the bat. Anything to avoid contact, especially with your fingers, it looked like it did. We all know that David Freese is tough. You know, he wanted to stay in the game, but I think it's a wise decision by Mike Scioscia.
Down the line, slicing out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So we'll hear from this angle exactly where that baseball got him. And he's trying to get his hand off the bat, his right hand, to see where it gets, bringing that right hand.
I remember last year, he went on a disabled list. He had a fracture on that same hand. It was the middle finger. That was early on in the season.
Hoping that's not the case here.
Yeah. Two. Down and in. Full count. All right, that'll get a head start over at first base. Robertson is on deck. There's a walk. Joyce works it. That's the first free pass issued by Pelfrey. Put 2 men on for Robertson. Robertson lines one out to left field. Rosario almost has it go in and out of the glove. That ball was smoked. It's the 3rd out. 4 complete here at the Big A, and the Angels maintaining their 1-run lead. miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse. More live channels on the go than cable.
And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
3-2 Angels lead at top of the 5th inning. C.J. Wilson back to work. Taylor Featherston, who pinch ran for David Freese, stays in the game as expected over at third base. Once we hear word from the clubhouse, we will pass it along on David Freese's condition. Hit by a pitch. Been a couple of interesting innings for CJ in the 3rd and 4th. Limited to just 2 runs in the 3rd inning. A 2-out rally put out by the pop-up off the bat of Danny Santana to finish off the 4th. Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer here for Minnesota. Kansas City defeated Pittsburgh tonight 5-1. Twins trailing the Royals in the standings in the Central, 6.5 back at the start of the day. Count evened up at 1-1.
This is a big series too in Kansas City.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Royals won 2 or 3 against them.
Dozier 1 for 2. He struck out in the 1st at a 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. That at that point put Minnesota on top 2-1.
CJ doesn't have quite command of his curveball tonight, as we've seen of late.
Oh! 3-1.
And one thing you try to avoid as a pitcher when you're frustrated, after CJ threw that fastball out of the zone, he kind of looked away. As a hitter, you feel more comfortable at the plate at this point because you don't feel that he's going to make a quality pitch. Fortunately enough, not swinging at that fastball middle part of the plate for Dozier. Looks like he might have been looking off speed. So he got a good fastball and missed it. Took it right down the middle.
And he chases a pitch that would have been ball 4. And there's the first out here, the 5th. CJ with strikeout number 5.
That's a product of a hitter upset when he took a fastball down the middle of the plate. He expanded the strike zone and swings at a fastball off the plate.
Torrey, a ground ball to short and a strikeout. Back up the middle, and that is a base hit. A 1-out single for Hunter, puts a man on for Joe Mauer. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Mauer single out to left field in the 3rd inning. 2nd hit of the series. Minnesota now has 6 hits tonight. Angels with 5. And a bunt on the 3rd base side. Rolls foul and sees he's got to hurry. It's official. Good chance maybe that ball goes back into fair territory.
The amazing thing about that was first pitch. Tried to bunt that one there. Not a bad idea. A lot of room down that part of the field.
Oh, 2. Mauer didn't make that call. Thought it was in off the plate.
Well, our Fox track's about a half a baseball off the inside corner.
Bouncer to the right side. Giavotella knocks it down at least. Comes up with it. Pujols can't handle it. So everyone is safe.
Giavotella with some pretty good range, though. It's been the throw. Diving down. Not a bad throw.
Yeah. There should be an error on Albert.
At the end of the glove.
Albert's third error of the year. So 2 on, 1 out. And Sano at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and fielder's choice. Almost looked like I didn't see that baseball. Almost sent him in the mask.
Didn't miss by a whole lot either. That was the upper part of the strike zone.
Breaking ball, yanked foul. One ball, one strike with 1 out, 2 on. 3-2 Angels here in the 5th. That is inside. Angels have action in their bullpen. Siege's already 93 pitches. Two on. 3-1.
Well, a lot of pitches just below the strike zone throughout this game for CJ. Especially the way Trevor Plouffe has swung the bat against CJ today. And he's on deck. Very important batter for the Angels and Wilson here.
Full count at the bottom part of the strike zone. 8 3-ball counts, 5-4. That will always drive that pitch count up, and your pitching coach a little batty. Payoff pitch. That is out toward right center field. Got it on the hands just enough. Robertson will track it down. Torrey tags. He'll head to third. Mauer back to first. And there are 2 outs.
Baseball has a pretty good carry to it.
Sano, a very strong kid.
And an inside out on a cut fastball in the inner half of the plate.
Plouffe 0 for 2. He lined out to short, hit a fly ball to center. Down and in. .57 strikes, 40 balls for CJ. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. 2-0 count. I'm a little surprised with Salas ready to go in the pen. CJ's facing Plouffe. I mean, for Socha to go ahead and get someone ready.
Yeah, I think this
would have been the
this
guy.
could be CJ's last batter right here. Just try to get through this inning. So put yourself in position to pick up a W, keep that lead.
3-0.
Sano swung 3-0. A sharp ground ball with David Freese to finish off the inning. You wonder if Plouffe will be swinging 3-0.
Wouldn't put it past him. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. That looked like it was in off the plate. That's why he didn't swing. And the Twins on the second half, or right after the All-Star break, 1-3. So that's why I said I wouldn't be surprised. They're trying to generate some offense. Tying run at third base. 3-1 now. And that was way inside. There's ball 4. They wonder if Socha's going to come out. Rosario's coming up, left-handed batter. He lets him face one more. Rosario, a ground ball to short and a pop-up. Problem is that the command's been so off tonight. And now you risk, if Rosario is patient at all, of walking in the tying run.
Minnesota never has been known as a very patient lineup. They've always been known as an aggressive team.
Rosario for 5 in the series. No place to put him. Hunter at third, Mauer at second, and Plouffe at first base. A 3-2 Angels lead here in the 5th. Takes a strike.
Nice job by Iannetta keeping that in front of him.
Yeah.
And not a lot of command for his curveball tonight at all for CJ. A pitch that he's been able to go to quite a bit to get back into counts and even finish off hitters.
Contrast in style to what we saw Friday night against the Boston Red Sox, where he had pretty much everything working. One. Fouled off 1 and 2. It'll be a 5-inning stint for CJ tonight. Assuming he gets Rosario here. 1-2. And a bouncer back up the middle. Ibar has it. Clips it to Giamatello. They get the 4th shot. And CJ slithers through the 5th. We will head to the bottom of the inning. The Angels maintaining their 1-run lead. The line looks nice, but 105 pitches through 5 when it didn't need to be. Just command it wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, not a feel for his curveball. His changeup was working well early, and he made a mistake or two with his changeup up, but that's a pitch I felt he could have kept going back to, especially with his two-seam fastball go down and away.
When he goes the requisite 5, and he does so with the lead. Giavotella, followed by Cole Calhoun, then Mike Trout.
Pelfrey was on that bench for a long, long time. See if the hitters can take advantage of Pelfrey now. Giavotella in a good hitters count.
Two and one. Johnny with a single in the first, reached on the error by Santana in the third, and also scored in that frame. Three and one. Pelfrey with no strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed. Three-one pitch. And he's out towards center field. Hicks racing back. Still going back. And that is overset. He slips at the wall. Hopefully he's all right. Giavotella trying to go to third. He is in there with a triple.
Yeah,
that looked a little scary there.
Yeah, because we've seen Hicks cover so much ground. It looked like he got back in the last second as he's looking up, slips. It's very dangerous when you're that close to the wall. Fastball down and in, and Giavotella did a nice job of getting the barrel of the bat on that baseball. And Hicks looks at the wall just as he's getting prepared to try to reach up, and he slips. Both feet hit the wall.
Yeah.
Dangerous play. Looks like he's okay, though.
We talked about the carry that Sano's ball had out to right center in the 5th inning. This ball had some serious carry off the bound. Infield in for Minnesota with Cole at the plate. Cole singled his last time up. He rips one out toward right center field. That'll get down for a hit and an RBI, and the Angels extend their lead to 4-2.
And the RBI machine of late, Cole Calhoun, second hit, second RBI, a big, huge run here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. And we've seen anytime you made a mistake in this homestand against Calhoun with a fastball, it's been covered.
So nobody out, Cole over at first, and here's Trout, who's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right and a double play ball. Down to the dirt.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game. That ride to win, the momentum. C.J. Wilson able to get through that last inning, and right away the offense responds back with another run already. Opportunity to win again. 4-2 lead. This offense has responded very well.
The inside cornered 1-1.
He's pitched inside a lot.
Trevor May, first man up. Eddie Guardado, the bullpen coach, behind him, is right.
Talked to him today. He said thank you for us talking about his bowling tournament he has during the winter.
Breaking the ball, that's out towards center. Again, he on the hands. It jammed. One out. Cole back to first. Bring up Albert. Fernando Salas back up and loosening as he was in the top of the inning. So it looks like he'll take over the 6th. Albert twice is grounded out. Once to second, one to short. There's Nando.
A lot of pitches up and in against right-handed batters with Pelfrey today.
Popped up. Joe Mauer to foul territory. 2 outs. Pelfrey just at 67 pitches. Face Eric Ibar here in the 5th inning. Ibar 1 for 2. He singled it in second. Minnesota in the 6th will have the bottom third of its order coming up at Hicks, Fryer, and Santana. It's a second straight at bat, which Pelfrey started Ibar with a breaking ball. Jumped on that first pitch fastball in the second. Texas beat Colorado 10-8. Seattle lost to Detroit 9-4. Oakland leading the Blue Jays 3-1. That game for the 6th on the throw of the Colt. Houston, as we mentioned, beat Boston for the 2nd straight night. Pop about the left. Rosario makes the catch. The Angels are done here in the 5th, but a leadoff triple by Giavotella. Cole brought him home with a single. We'll head to the 6th inning with the Angels up 4-2. Chris Vanetta put the Angels up early in the second inning with a 7th home run of the year. His solo shot made it 1-0. Minnesota struck for 2 in the third. Cole Calhoun in the third inning put the Angels back on top. His first RBI single of the night. Seen some defense as well as Daniel Robertson went down in center field, banged him against the wall, robbing Plouffe of extra bases. The Angels tacked on the run at the bottom of the 5th. That's where we stand right now, 4-2 as we start the top of the 6th inning. And it is Fernando Salas taking over for C.J. Wilson. In and out, who's in, who's out. Fernando pitched last night through a total of 15 pitches. And he is pitching in his 41st game this year, 1-1. A 4.25 ERA, 36 innings, 32 hits, 39 strikeouts, and 7 walks.
And that solid fastball changeup combination has been very effective when he's ahead of the count with his fastball.
Aaron Hicks spins around to hit from the left side. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles from the right side tonight. Stolen base and a run scored. C.J. Wilson went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, gave up just 2 runs. Threw over 100 pitches in those 5 innings. Hicks, Fryer, and Santana for Minnesota here in the 6th inning.
Looks like Fernando's getting back that good velocity on his fastball. That little zip there, that one at 91. Even though it was hard of the plate, Hicks was late on that fastball.
Down the line foul. Missed low. This one out to left and playable for Joyce. Hey fans, don't miss your chance to see the unveiling of the Mike Trout life-size bobblehead Friday when the Angels take on the Rangers at 7:05. If you can't be here, you can catch the unveiling streaming live on FoxSportsWest.com beginning Friday at 5. For more info and to purchase your tickets that night, visit Angels.com/promotions.
He knew you were talking about him.
Yeah.
With a big smile. He's excited about it himself.
Fryer looks at a strike. He struck out looking in the 3rd, walked in the 4th. Oh, 2. Delivers, I should say. Called strike 3 on Fryer. 2 outs.
Perfectly located fastball from Salas. Paint that inside corner. 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Great execution by Fernando Salas.
8th strikeout in the month of July. This being his 6th appearance. total of 4 2/3 innings. But last year, he had a good run, a very good run, up until late August, early September, and then all of a sudden that velocity of the fastball tailed down. He struggled into September and into the postseason.
I think part of it is he was getting up and pitching a lot of games, and not only getting any games, when you're warming up in the bullpen 1, 2, sometimes 3 times, it taxes you. Just remember last year, a lot of innings out of the bullpen, especially when Corey Rasmus was starting those games, going 3, 4, maybe 5 innings, and the bullpen had to take a lot of innings there. And then some other starters, the same thing. A lot of work out of the bullpen last year. A very effective bullpen, but they got tired out by the end.
One ball and 2 strikes on Danny Santana, the shortstop. 1 for 2 tonight. Looped down to center. It's a base hit. Second hit of the night. 2-out single. Twins have been pesky tonight after the second inning. Not gone down in order. They stranded 7 base runners in the last 3 innings.
You know what we talked about last night with the Angels using the middle of the field, going away a lot on pitches. That's what the Twins have done in this game.
Dozier looks at a strike. A 1 for 3 game for the All-Star second baseman. 2 RBI single in the third. 53 runs batted in for Dozier. Good crowd here tonight on this Wednesday night. 38,000, almost 39,000 last night. Painted fastball 0-2. Got a giveaway tonight. Tomorrow it's a 12:35 start. Business person special. Garrett Richards against the young Irvin Santana.
2 really good arms, very good sliders, both of them.
This one out to shallow right field. Long run in for Cole. He's there. He'll put it away. No damage for Minnesota here in the 6th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. The Angels still on top.
It's still beaten in Cleveland. Michael Brantley coming to the plate to drive down by 3. Well, they're not down by 3 anymore with that big swing from Brantley. 3-run home run ties it up. Cleveland eventually comes back and wins that game. 4 for 5 on the game for Brantley with 4 RBI, a triple shy from the cycle.
Halos here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll have Featherston, Ionetta, and Joyce. Still no word from the Angels clubhouse as to the extent of David Freese's injury. Taylor bounces this one off the plate towards short. Santana comes in, not going to field it cleanly, and it'll go as an infield base hit for Featherston.
And with Chris Ionetta coming up, now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco in the 2nd inning. And in a homer last night, homers here. And a pitch up in the strike zone. 7th home run of the season for Chris Ionetta. He is getting hot. His lineup, better balance, scoring a lot of runs with the other guys in the lineup crushing the ball like Chris Ionetta. Well, you got to be believing right now that Featherston's got to think in terms of trying to steal. I think Minnesota's thinking the same thing.
Ionetta with the home run in the 2nd, a fielder's choice in the 4th, a 1-for-2 game. Down low. Crawford still throwing just 71 pitches. 43 strikes. Not struck out on that. Hasn't been much of a strikeout pitcher this year. 49. Just 99 innings of work prior to tonight. Foul back. Good rip at it too by Chris.
That's another pitch upstairs, similar to the pitch he hit out of the ballpark in the 2nd inning. It's a big lead.
One ripped to left. 2nd hit of the game for Ionetta. Featherston stops at 2nd, and the Angels have the first 2 on.
Stayed back well on that fastball. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Inner half of the plate for Ionetta. Brings his hand towards his body. Gets the barrel of the bat out. Drives it into left field for a base hit. Looks like Minnesota's anticipating a bunt here. Joyce with 1 sacrifice bunt this year.
He pushes it foul. Matt 0 for 1. A fly ball left and a walk. Again, showing bunt. This one's foul back. 4-2. Featherston at second. Iannetta at first base, and will pick off. Hand back in there.
See if the tag was applied. Wow, they look at that. They'll be able to call him out and reverse that call.
And they are going to look at it. Should be the first down of the inning. He's made 3 outs on the bases yesterday with Robertson being picked off at first. And you're in that situation too, Gooby, that they do overturn this call. They probably should. But there's nobody out here. There's no reason. You're not trying to get that big of a lead.
No, especially now with 2 strikes now in a bunt scenario. Maybe you're trying to get that extra step just to make sure you're safe at third, but now that's been taken away. You can see before the hand was on the base, looked like the glove was right on the back of Featherston.
It's going to be a quick call. And he's out.
The call is overturned.
So it's the first out here in the 6th inning. Right at first base, Joyce with an 0-2 count. Joyce looked like he went around. Joe West brings him up. 2 outs. Here comes Robertson, who's 1 for 2, and he's hit the ball hard twice. A single and a run score in the 3rd. A fly ball to left in the 4th. Of a line drive to Rosario. Off speed, down and away.
Well, this inning looked like it had a good opportunity to add on as far as runs for the Halos here, and all of a sudden Pelfrey now with 2 outs, and this Chris Iannetta at first base trying to get through this inning with no damage.
Four-2 Angels here in the 6th inning. One-one. Bouncer and off the glove of Mauer. It trickles into foul territory. Robertson is out at first. Quick call by Rob Drake. Mike Socia will have a look at it, I'm sure. Everyone will hold their positions here. Dino either gets a thumbs up or the thumbs down from the clubhouse. And it's a thumbs down. They're not going to challenge it.
Off the glove and quickly retrieves it. And a quick throw. And Pelfrey, that's why you always cover first base as a pitcher, no matter what the scenario is.
6 complete. We'll head to the 7th. The Angels still on top.
On to MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th inning. The Angels with a 4-2 lead. Minnesota sending up 2, 3, and 4 here in the 7th. New center fielder for the Angels is Mike Trout. And Robertson is out of the ball game. And with Trout serving as the DH and now in the ball game.
That means there's no DH.
Correct. The pitcher spot is in the 9th spot. Wonder if Robertson's having some side effects from hitting the wall out in center field.
Could be, and then that bang play at first base also.
Yeah.
He looked like he was walking okay. Well, if you hear anything, we'll definitely let everyone know about that, but that's odd that he was out of the game at this point.
If anything, what we've seen in the past would be if you were going to do that, well, Trout being the DH, you weren't planning on giving up the pitcher, but you'd keep Robertson's defense in left field. And
exactly.
Joyce would come out. And then the pitcher spot would go on that number 8 spot, but as we stand right now, it's the 9th spot in the order. Trevor Gott to face Torrey Hunter to start the 7th. Gott pitched in Monday's game 2 through 19 pitches. Command an issue, hadn't pitched in a while since before the All-Star break. 1-0, it is 1-0 with a 3.29 ERA his first 14 games. Torrey bounces this one foul. Hunter a 1 for 3 game. He's singled in the 5th.
Last few times out for God is falling behind the count. Trusting that movement in the fastball. Start middle of the plate and move to the corners or run it inside against a right-handed batter. And then finish them off with that nasty fastball or slide into the dirt.
Jammed him enough. Ibar has this one. 1 down. Let's check the Angels' upcoming schedules presented by Honda. 12:35 start tomorrow. We mentioned Irvin Santana versus Garrett Richards.
And that should be a good one to mention. The fact that both those pitchers have outstanding swing and miss sliders. Irvin Santana is a guy that gives up those home runs. In a day game, the baseball could be flying tomorrow. Here's Garrett. He was exceptional his last time out. 9-inning shutout, 2-hitter against Boston.
Fastball to Mauer, misses off the plate. And that'll sneak through the left side. Second hit of the night for Mauer. Puts a man on here for Sano. Sano, the DH tonight, takes a breaking ball for a strike. 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a fielder's choice, and a fly ball to right center. Beach ball, the warning track at right. Appropriate for Hawaiian Week.
Yes, sir.
One ball with strike.
Getting missed by a lot. 97-mile-an-hour fastball almost ran back and got the outside corner.
Two and one. Comes up empty.
Pretty much the heart of the plate also.
There's a 2-2. In tight. Full count. That is a little bit high. Look at that caught the top part of the strike zone.
Mike Scioscia's looking in, wondering why that's not called a strike. That got quite a bit of the strike zone. Look at our Fox tracks at 95, upper part of the strike zone.
Mike Butcher to pay a visit. Trevor Plouffe due up here. Nobody warming up for the Angels. Plouffe tonight 0 for 2. He lined out to short, hit a fly ball to center, and drew a walk in the 5th. T.J. Wilson, the requisite 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 runs. Fernando Salas 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. And now got here in the 7th. Minnesota with 8 hits, the Angels with 9. Plouffe, the team leader in double plays. He's rolled into 17 of them.
Not a ton of speed on the bases right now for Minnesota either. So you have a ground ball in the infield, you should have a shot at it.
And Scioscia barking from the dugout to Kerwin Danley. That one was off the play, but the one to Snow wasn't. Ground ball to short. Ibar to Giamatello on the first.
Good call, partner.
18 double plays on the season for Trevor Plouffe. Stretch time. Here's the Big A. 4-2 Angels.
by Trevor Gott to be able to get that ground ball double play. Speaking of pitching, changes now for Minnesota as Pelfrey's out of the ball game. May is going to come in there. Trevor May. He's been a starter also, 6-7 record, ERA 4.43, 73 punch-outs. In 85 and a third innings pitched, 18 walks, but looking to add on against May. Important, especially after that quality pitch by Gott to get at it. Nice turn by our guy bar to Giavitello.
They go from the power forward and Mike Pelfrey to the shooting guard. Trevor May at 6'5".
He's a short one.
4th round pick by the Phillies back in 2008. 25-year-old. And into 10 games, 9 starts for the Twins last year. They'll face the top of the order here. Giavitello, Calhoun, and Trout. Johnny, a couple of hits, a single, a triple, 2 runs scored. Triple by Giavitello in the 5th inning, his 2nd of the year.
May's fastballs 91 to 95. There's a slider, curveball, and solid changeup. There's quite a few changeups.
Johnny shoots it out toward left center field. Make that a 3-hit game. He didn't like all that talk before the game about the trade deadline and potential looking for a leadoff man.
Yeah, that was an odd conversation, what Giavitello has done so far. That's how you respond. Swing the bat and hit the ball hard.
So the Angels with 10 hits tonight. They had 13 in game 1 of the series.
Scored a couple runs in this game also.
Cole with a couple of hits, 2 for 3, 2 runs batted in. Calhoun with 53 RBIs on the season. Big rip comes up empty. Pelfrey, by the way, went 6 innings, 9 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 4 runs, 2 earned. Houston won tonight. They defeated Boston. The Angels needing a win after a 2-game advantage. Texas won. Seattle lost. Oakland leading Toronto late at the Coliseum. Oakland bound a little flare towards second, and that'll sneak through. Miscommunication between Dozier and Santana. That is a bleeder of a single, a 3-hit game for Cole.
There was a ground ball up the middle last night too, in which shortstop and Dozier both looked at each other. The ball just kind of trickled through the infield. Same thing there. Looks like that's got to be made a play there.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to. Why is Dozier stopping?
I know that's a play where Dozier gets it, steps on the base himself, more so than wait for Santana to get over there. But a break, as Led Zeppelin would say, a little communication breakdown.
Trout looks at a strike. Trout tonight 0 for 3. In case you're wondering, we have not heard from the Angels clubhouse and David Freese. So we'll address that after the game. So you better stick around for Angels Live postgame.
Yes.
My one and only play. You met your quota for Led Zeppelin. I got my Angels Live quota.
Perfect.
1-1. Poor foul. 1-2. Single by Giavatello, broken bat single by Calhoun. This is popped up to right. Not very deep. Corey comes in. 1 out. They'll bring up Albert. Albert hitless as well tonight, 0 for 3. 2 ground outs, 1 pop up. Shoots one out to the alley in left center field. Hicks is not going to get there. Giavatello will score. Calhoun the third. Albert on his way to second. Call that an RBI double. 5-2 Angels.
Big swing RBI double for Albert Pujols. Now 61 RBI in the season. Big at bat, big swing for Albert. A breaking ball slider, slightly out in front, but still got good enough on the bat to drive that into left center field for his 13th double of the season. 61 RBI for Albert.
Potential to walk here to Ibar. It'll be Featherston batting with the bases loaded. 1 out. And there's ball 3.
Giavatello with his 3rd run scored in this game. It's the 2nd time this season. Did it way back on April 21st at home against Oakland for that leadoff spot. 3 runs scored, 3 hits for Johnny G.
Infield in. Featherston with an infield base hit. His first at bat as he took over as a pinch runner for Freese in the 4th. David hit on the right hand by Pelfrey. Runner out. Fastball diving underneath the hands. Breaking ball down and away.
Trying to add on here some important runs here. Trying to get a pitch upstairs. At least he can hit a sac fly.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Feathers it takes low. Mike Moore on the right, Joe Smith on the left. Net on deck. Two from May. That is yanked foul. Angels score more runs here in the 7th inning. Moore will pitch the 8th inning. It remains a 3-run lead. Joe Smith will get it. Moore's last outing very good against Boston.
Real good changeup.
And that is in the air to left. Not very deep. Should be deep enough to score. Calhoun. Rosario with a good arm. Here comes Calhoun. The throw to the plate. And out. No, safe at the plate. Looked like Kerwin Danley was about to ring him up. Paul Molitor will take a look at it.
Pretty strong throw.
Yeah.
Rosario once again. He's got 5 outfield assists this year.
The throw beat him. And looks like Molitor's going to have a.
It's all a matter of.
Take a look at it.
Cole got his foot in before the tag was applied. Trying to slide around. I think they got him.
Yeah.
Well, no, you got to look at it because the ball is in his hand. That's the difference, though. With the glove tag the first, but that doesn't matter at that point. The ball is in his hand. The tag on the glove, and then look like the hand there too. I think there's a chance this is going to be reversed also.
So it looked like Danley was ready to ring him up. Ends up calling him safe.
A strong throw.
Well, we saw that arm yesterday. It was offline. He's got a very strong throwing arm.
All 3 of these outfielders have good, accurate throwing arms. He did a great job of getting behind this baseball well and threw it up that first baseline because of the fact it would be screened and maybe hit the runner going down the line.
And it is a out at the plate. Well, the Angels are done here in the 7th. They do get a run. Ahead to the top of the 8th inning. Halos leading at 5-2.
It's just me and the Hawaiian Rally Monkey, but not for long. Angels Live after this game. I'll be joined by Tim Salmon and Jose Mota, Alex Curry with the interviews. And you heard Victor Rojas with his one and only plug of Angels Live mention. We'll try to get you an update on David Freese. Well, this is still a safe situation potentially for Houston Street with that call at the home plate overturned. Houston sitting on 299, hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. I asked him not so much if he's stressed about 300, but his family. He told me his mom, Janie, certainly is. I mean, not tremendously, but she's waiting for this to happen. He said, Mom, don't worry. If I still have 299 at the end of the year, then you can worry. He expects to certainly get it done. Perhaps this is the night he becomes the 27th all-time to reach 300. Mark, I saw you talking to Houston. This is a very intelligent young man with a lot of points, if not a broadcaster, maybe a politician someday.
Oh, we had a long conversation, about a half hour, just talking about everything from sabermetrics to old school baseball. And he's got a lot of information, and he's willing to talk to anybody about the old school approach as far as whether it's down in the bullpen or the way the game is played.
He has started his routine for the 9th inning as Joe Smith gets the 8th inning, delivers a strike on Eddie Rosario. It'll be Rosario, Hicks, and Fryer with Minnesota here in the 8th. 41st game for Joe. 4-2 record at 2.56 ERA. Got into game 2 on Monday against the Red Sox. Picked up his first save of the year. And an inning in the 3rd through a total of 18 pitches. Eddie Rosario 0 for 3. Good throw to the plate to get the 3rd out at home plate. Took a replay and an overturned call. Shoots one out the left field. Matt George is playing very shallow. That's over his head. One hops the fence. Rosario with good speed on board with a leadoff double.
We talked about how the baseball has carried throughout this game. It's his 9th double of the season.
Aaron Hicks has had a nice night, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Picked up a stolen base. Has also scored a run.
Boy, this outfield for Minnesota with 15 outfield assists. 3 outfielders, they're throwing the ball well in these first 2 games of the series from the outfield. It was a big throw.
Bouncer to first. Albert will play the short hop and take it himself.
That was a good decision. He almost stayed back in that and decided to take away that last hop. He picked that one to step on first.
Rosario ends up at 3rd base.
Taking a real instant hop, and he waited back on that one.
Well, the hop, and then all of a sudden it becomes a foot race at first.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice play by Albert. This can run well.
So Joe will face Eric Fryer, the catcher, 0 for 2 with a strikeout, 2 strikeouts and a walk. For Suzuki getting the night off. Angels in the bottom of the 8th inning will have the bottom 3rd of its order coming up, and Ian Joyce, and then the pitcher spot, so they'll get a pinch hitter. Angels gave up the DH as Trout took over in center field for Robertson in the 7th inning.
Great pitch. Underneath the hands. If you make contact, we'll pull that one foul. And go right back in there again, or throw that sweeping slider to get a swing and miss.
There's the 0-2 slider. Just misses. Pulled foul. Swing and a miss. Down goes Fryer. 2 down.
Punch out Joe Smith. And back to the heater. A swing and miss on a fastball. The third time of the game. Fryer has struck out. Trying to run that one down and in, but down and out over the plate. Gets a swing and miss. Set up by those 2 sliders that just missed before that pitch.
Man at third, 2 outs. Danny Santana at the plate. The shortstop takes down an in. Nobody loosening for Minnesota, so it looks like May will come back out for the 8th. Two balls, no strikes. $40,239 in the house tonight. To wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon with a bouncer foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals looking for their 7th consecutive win. Top of the order, Dozier on deck. And he walked him. So runners at the corners now.
And a dangerous hitter in these situations. Dozier coming to the plate, presenting a tying run.
Dozier 1 for 4, 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. Rosario at third base, leadoff double. Hicks moved him over on a ground down. Strikeout of Fryer, now the walk as Dozier looks to strike 1. Kansas City defeated Pittsburgh 5-1. White Sox lost. Yankees beat Baltimore 4-3.
Yankees leading that division by 4.5 games now in the AL East.
Back up the middle, but Giavatello positioned perfectly, races to the bag, and they get the force out at second of Danny Santana. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels still up. And photo to hashtag West Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. And it is brought to you by T-Mobile. Bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Sinetta to lead things off here against Trevor May. I believe that's Mark Gooby in our Strong Fan photo of the game. See, at least it looks like him. Sinetta with a home run, a fielder's choice and a single. He's 2 for 3. Home run for Chris back in the second inning, his 7th of the year, 25th RBI. One, two. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off speed, got him looking. 1 down.
Left fielder, number 20.
Bring up Matt Joyce. C.J. Cron comes down to the on deck circle. He'll be pinch hitting in that pitcher spot. Houston Street getting ready. The 9th inning. He'll face Hunter, Mauer, and Sano. 2, 3, and 4. Pulled over to first. Mauer has it. 2 outs.
Batting for Joe Smith, number 24.
Here's Cron. 278 on the year. 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter.
If CJ can get a hold of one here, show him really what he has done. 21 for his last 42.
CJ goes down on 3 pitches. We head to the 9th. The Angels with a 5-2 lead will turn the ball over to Houston Street. Houston Street. Looking for career save number 300. Remember, prior to the All-Star break, on July the 8th, Houston finished off the game and had a slip, a little tweak in the groin. Did not pitch in the series in Seattle. Had the All-Star break off. Wasn't needed in the series. Although he did warm up once in the series against Boston. But comes in to get try to pick up save number 300. 24 saves on the year. Sorry, good.
Extremely competitive. And you see that sign right there. Looking forward to that opportunity to get that save number 300. We talked about that today. You know, how many times you're going to see closers get that number anymore? Same thing, starting pitchers, how many 300 game winners are going to be in baseball. You're not going to see a whole lot of that anymore.
Well, he'll be facing the heart of the order for Minnesota. Torrey Hunter to lead things off. Houston picked up his first major league save June 2nd, 2005 as a member of the Oakland Athletics. And that was against the Toronto Blue Jays. Currently 27th all-time with 299 saves. He notches number 300 tonight. With time Bruce Sutter and Jason Isringhausen, 25th all-time. First one in for a strike. Of course, the all-time leader in saves, Mariano Rivera, 652. Trevor Hoffman second, 601. The only two guys over 600 saves.
Both outstanding songs to come in the game. Music Street, an outstanding song to come in the game. Just say.
I still think Lee Arthur Smith should be in the
yes,
in the Hall of Fame. He's
no
third.
Question. No,
478
no
career saves.
question about it.
0-2 pitch. Down in the dirt.
They could have played an album by the time he got in the game from the bullpen.
He was the original rain delay. Who was faster to the mound? Lee Arthur Smith coming in for the bullpen, or Mel Stottlemyre making a pitching visit to the Yankees dugout? 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know, that would be a tough one.
Yeah.
Too close to call. And down the stretch they go.
Torrey tonight 1 for 4 with a single in the 5th inning. Reaching for this one, shoots it out to right. Cole to his right, it's there. 1 down.
Look how that baseball carried. Looked like it was off the end of the bat. Ball almost got to the warning track. Or he looked like he was fooled on that slider. Just flicked it out the right. That ball almost got to the warning track. It's been warm here.
Torrey will tell you he's just getting his tricep work in.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the horseshoe of that tricep he's got working.
Yeah. Joe Mauer, a couple of hits tonight. 2 for 4. 2 singles. Each on the air by Albert in the 5th inning. That one's a little bit low. One ball, 1 strike. Should the Angels hang on, it'll be their 54th win of the season. Keep a 2-game lead over Houston. Defeated Boston earlier today. Out to left. Joyce back a couple of steps. 2 outs. So 1 out away from picking up win number 7 on the this little winning streak the Angels have been on. Career save number 300 for Houston Street.
A chance to be the 2nd youngest ever to get to 300. Frankie Rodriguez is the youngest.
Sano takes outside. Minnesota would drop to a 1-4 on this road trip. One ball, one strike there. Struggles out on the road continue. They had plenty of opportunities today. Minnesota left 11 base runners on board. On the corner, 1-2. One-two pitch. That is outside. Two off the plate. And a full count. Plouffe on deck. There's the payoff. Down low, he walked it.
Pretty good eye for the youngster.
Yeah.
Real close pitches.
It's the second walk he's picked up on the night. Trevor Plouffe will step to the plate. 0 for 3. Inning-ending double play in the 7th. As Trevor got. 0-1. C.J. Wilson, the pitcher of record. Lasted just 5 innings today, threw over 104 pitches. Six hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's looking for his 8th win. Tries to bunt his way on. Houston picks it up, fires to first. Right that baby up as the Angels take game 2 from the Minnesota Twins. 5-2 the final. Congratulations to Houston Street on career save number 300.
What a moment for Houston Street. So impressive to get that number 300. We talked about it a lot today. Right over to Albert Pujols. Big hug from Albert. Cole Calhoun with a big game. The offense, 12 hits, 5 runs. Man of the moment, though, Houston Street saved number 300 as the Angels have now won 7 in a row.
54th win of the year for the Angels, 54-30. And win number 31 here at home. They will go for the series sweep tomorrow afternoon. It's a 12:35 start. Garrett Richards on the mound facing the former Angel Irvin Santana as the Angels look to make it 8 consecutive victories and keep this party train rolling.
Another nice game by Chris Iannetta. A big home run for him back in the 2nd inning. Getting hugs all the way around. Houston Street just know how well he is loved by his teammates and how competitive he is. Congratulations. What a big moment for him.
Last night, the offense stepped up with no Mike Trout in the lineup. Today, Trout went hitless. Albert had just 1 hit, so the other guys are starting to step up offensively and help this pitching staff. The bullpen well rested because starters are working deep. Had to work 5 innings, pardon me, 4 innings tonight. But they did a solid job as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's coming all together. The defense, the pitching, the bullpen, solid. For the offense, still some good swings. The other guys, you mentioned that, other guys are coming through. Iannetta, Cole Calhoun. A lot of hugs there for the man of the hour there in Houston Street. Save number 325th of the season.
Yeah. Number 1 back in 2005. Number 300 here in 2015. Houston on his way to join Alex Curry. Getting the congratulations of Mike Moore and Joe Smith. Let's go down to Alex. Alex.
Thank you, Victor. Houston, congratulations on save number 300. The 2nd youngest player to do so. How good does it feel to finally get it done and then to do it here in front of the home crowd?
It's always better to do it at home, that's for sure. You know, it means a lot. At the same time, we're still in the middle of the season, and I want to keep going. but you love this game. I love to play this game. I love to battle. I love to compete. And to me, 300 saves is really nothing more than as I was about to say, a credit to my teammates. It really is. There's 8 innings of baseball before I ever get in there. There's a whole bullpen of guys out there that's been protecting leads, just like I'm trying to do my job. And I think you just go out there one day at a time, one piece at a time, one pitch at a time, try to get a little bit better.
And speaking of how well this team has been doing, it's the first time in 14 days they've actually given you a save opportunity to get in here.
Well, I mean, when you win, 17 out of 20, and there's one save opportunity, I think that's a pretty good deal. So I've been proud of this team this whole year. We've stayed consistent. We've battled. We pull for each other, and that's the most important thing. We're a true team. And, we got to keep going, though. We're not there yet.
And you can see that with every single person waiting by to give you a hug at the end of the game. But what kind of confidence does it give this team to come out of the break and play as strong as you have been?
It's huge, especially those first 2 games. Those were battles, and we found ways to win. But as you said, sharing this game, this life, all the accomplishments, watching Trouty, watching Pujols, watching guys that make you better. You share it with your teammates. You share it, and you want to win together, and I think we got a good group that can do that.
You do, and congratulations. Everyone give it up for Houston Street for save number 300. Thank you so much for joining us. A big win for the Angels as they keep the streak alive, 7 in a row. But stick around because Angels Live with Patrick O'Neill, Jose Mota, and Tim Salmon is coming up next.